3 tips on when to leave your job. What factors you should consider to make a decision in terms of exploring an opportunity outside. How should you be making the decision? Watch this video to maximize your gains in terms of your job hunting process. 20.3% is the average attrition rate of employees in the country, and more than 60% of employees are saying that they are longing to leave their job. That's a bit weird, simply because if the attrition level is so high, so you would expect that people are taking their hikes and are settling very well in their new job. But why is it that more than 60% are looking forward to changing their jobs? Are people changing jobs just for the sake of it, or is there a structured thinking behind it? In most cases, the job change decisions are not thought through strategically, and they are driven more from an impulsive reaction, either to get a pay hike or to avoid a painful boss, or at times as a knee-jerk reaction to not being promoted. So the question remains, when should you be thinking of changing your job? Let's look at 3 factors to discuss this in details. Number 1, learning. You should consider changing a job when either you are not learning anymore in your existing role, or you are learning but you don't want to learn in that particular domain. The second factor is growth. This includes primarily career progression and secondarily pay and brand. Now, the word secondarily is extremely important here because financial consideration should never be the sole factor in making career transitions. Now, this is a very big problem, and many of the people make this mistake of making job transition just for the sake of pay hikes, which is a very bad strategy. I'm not saying you don't want pay hike, but your fundamental focus should be on career progression, because over a long period of time, if you see, you are far better off financially if you focus on expediting your career progression. As a next point, try to expedite your career by going for job changes after your promotion, never before. So why? Simple reason is, once you get promoted, you move to one level up, and then that becomes your new baseline. So if you can crack a deal which is one level further up than your new level within, let's say, a period of 1 year, so at the end of the day, you get 2-level movement within a period of 1 year with hefty rises in pay. So that really expedites your career trajectory. Now, as opposed to that, if you make a transition before you get a promotion, most likely you are going to get a position which is at the same level, or maybe at max 1 level up if you are in junior positions currently, which means that over a period of 1 year, you see in case 1, you had 2 level ups with greater hikes, and the second case you have maximum 1 level, that too very low probability. In most cases it is the same level with a relative high pay hike. So it's always prudent to make those transitions after you get the promotion. Okay? Please don't get emotional about it. Think strategically and make a move which expedites your career from a long-term perspective. The last point is brand. Brand is important because it makes sure the value of your profile remains hot in the market for future. A McKinsey consultant will always be a McKinsey consultant. What I would like to simply suggest here is, please don't take decisions where you are trading off, let's say, a position in an MNC for a very local unknown brand, let's say in a particular state or region, even if it's giving you hefty growth in pay or sometimes even career progression, because if you compromise on brands, to that extent, it will not be very productive from the long-term perspective. Of course, the caveat here, I'm not talking startups. Startups give you a different level of exposure. You can always go there. The third factor is culture fitment, which includes organization ways of working, the leadership expectations, flexibility, recognition, so many different things. Now, using the 3 factors that we just discussed, let's analyze a 2x2 matrix where we will see 4 scenarios based on the amount of learning or growth you have in your existing job profile. So, quadrant 1, absolutely you need to immediately and actively search for a job and make sure you are learning in your next job. Quadrant 2, great in learning, but you're looking forward to growth. The mantra is actively pursue growth within the organization, but be passively in the market, waiting for the best deal. when I'm saying best deal or killer deal, it means you have to get great growth, which is great brand, great pay hike, but most importantly, career progression without compromising on your learning. Quadrant 3 is best. You have best of both, so continue doing flourish in the existing organization. Quadrant 4 is where you need to be careful because you have growth, which is great news, but you don't have learning. So you definitely don't want to stay very long in this kind of a setup where you're not learning and you're passing time. So the objective here is that you should passively again be available in the market. If you get a killer deal, great. If you don't get a killer deal, make sure that you achieve a growth milestone, maybe a promotion. And once you get that, then try to make a transition such a way that while you continue to preserve your growth prospects, your brand, etc., but in your next job, you get great learning value. So now let's analyze the 2x2 matrix considering learning and culture fitment. Now this is very relevant, especially in the first year in a new organization, because growth may not be a critical thing you're looking forward to. You've already got a growth, a pay hike, a new position. So what is more critical for you is your fitment in the organization along with the learning. Now if you find yourself in quadrant 1, as in this matrix, you need to actively and immediately search for a job and make sure you have learning in your next job. If you found yourself in quadrant 2, where you have great learning but you are missing culture fitment, now this could be dicey. Now let's say if you're a senior guy, this could also be risky from your continuity perspective. So passively look out for job and make a transition as soon as you get a killer deal. But don't hurry up, don't get emotional, don't take drastic decisions. If you're a junior guy, I would very strongly recommend you are adaptable, so make sure you kind of try to acclimatize yourself to the new culture of the organization and kind of thrive and move to quadrant 3, which is the quadrant which is high in both and hence a high performing quadrant. If you are in quadrant 3, continue delivering high performance, continue pursuing growth, and you have an awesome career awaiting you in that organization. If you find yourself in quadrant 4, where you have culture fitment but you don't have learning, now this is again dicey. This is dicey because if you don't have learning, the job worth starts diminishing very fast. So there are two things you should do. If you are a senior guy, try to discuss and see how you can expand the scope of the role. No one is going to stop you if you are ready to do more beyond the mandate of what you are expected to do. So try to enhance your role. If you are a junior guy, second point, try to see if you can get an internal movement to a department which has faster growth. Yeah. Now, if these two are not possible, of course, my suggestion would be keep passively looking out because learning is not happening. I'm always concerned. Your market value starts diminishing immediately. So keep passively looking out, and whenever you get a killer deal, please make a move. Remember, the criteria here is you have to get a killer deal, which means you have to get growth as well as learning. Of course, in the process, you will also evaluate culture fitment. 3 key takeaways. Number 1, learning is the most important factor and should have the highest weightage in your job change decision. Number 2, growth is very important, but growth is not equal to pay. Growth should primarily be seen as career progression. And number 3, it doesn't harm you to be passively always available in the market. Who knows, you can crack a killer deal both in terms of compensation, career progression, and brand. That's it for today. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel so that my new videos can reach out to you. Thank you. Stay focused.